Hello, Vash.
Good morning or afternoon where you are.
Yeah, it's like 2:30.
Or
Oh,
howdy in the States.
we this has been insane. We raised like $166,000 so far.
Yeah, I've been following. That is going to be a nice car when you pocket the money. Really though, it's phenomenal work. You should be proud.
Yeah, no, I am. I was really happy because we had the rep we had the representative on from the organization. I was like unaware the extent of what they did before I chose this charity. But apparently they have a grant program where they do grants for rural LGBT people for all sorts of things. Like one of the examples that was given was like if a trans person in a rural community in the South does not have access to a therapist, they can put in a grant application and get money for gas, for instance. And that's it makes me feel good knowing that this money is actually going to go directly to the people who need it.
Yeah, it's genuinely wonderful. And a lot of the this is one of the few times where trickle down economics really works. High profile donations to causes like this have a reciprocal effect where they draw more attention to the organization and increase the likelihood of future donations. Um, so there's definitely, it's like it goes beyond just the one big charity stream, and it really contributes to the perceived legitimacy of these orgs. Um,
Mhm.
and this is fantastic as well. I mean, seriously, especially since you haven't, been streaming that aggressively until recently. This is a ridiculous amount of prominence
Jeez, I
and
know I
and
didn't expect
the
it.
community pull together. Are you playing that marble game or are
Uh,
you just watching?
Oh, I hit the join button. I just press start. It's just like something in the background for chat to play while I talk to people. I do not know how
Oh,
you
oh,
do
I see.
conversations and play games. When I'm tired, I can't do it at all.
That's what keeps me awake during the long streams. Playing. The gamer juice is flowing through my veins, keep me going far longer than I could if I was just sitting there. I feel bad for you.
I was playing like Lego Star Wars earlier while I was trying to have a conversation, and then I realized I was running in a circle for like 10 minutes, and I was like, okay, I can't do this. This isn't
Oh yeah,
working.
that's the classic right there. Yeah, that's why. Because I try because I do debate stuff, and when I'm playing games, normally I can play while I'm debating, but if something requires a little bit of my attention, like I actually like sit down and pay attention, I just run around in circles, and there's in my VODs and me Elden Ring like running in a circle for 2 hours while arguing about the definition of a biological female or something with some.
Hmm.
Uh, uh, the second coming of trans debates. I thought I was done with them. I did like 8,000 of them when I started the channel, and I thought, yep, I feel like I have comprehensively covered this topic. There is no possible way I could. No, of course not. Time is a flat circle.
Yeah, it's it does feel like so much rhetoric, just like from the past decade, just keeps rehashing itself over and over again, except rebranded.
Yeah, it's getting worse now.
Yeah.
2 or 3 years ago, like when I was debating trans issues, it was like this paternalistic, well, you don't know what sex means, you're confused, honey. And now it's like, oh, well, actually, all of you are groomers. I was like, oh, okay, well, see, we weren't aggressive enough in the first round, so now we're giving it another go. Ugh.
I think like one of the worst consequences of this has been that now when I hear someone get called a groomer, I don't even flinch. Where if 6 months ago someone said this, I would immediately like be alarmed. Like that
Yeah,
is
well,
like a very big accusation.
it's the complete trivialization of the term. It's nothing but a political. I mean, they always do this, right? I mean,
Mm.
because it's fascists can't have minor evils. Every evil has to be a civilization destroying threat. So whatever group they're going after, whatever group the reactionaries don't like, they have to be. They can't. It can't just be a problem. It has to be some. Like they did this with BLM, right? Like the Portland, like a couple of fires were supposed to be the end of Western civilization. That was a mainstream talking point. They can never be chill about it. It's just never a minor threat. They're never normal.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Uh,
And I just I don't even know what's going on. I feel like I just like one of the most important priorities for me is just like trying to do as much damage control as I can for the trans community, this stream included. Um, the original reason for the charity stream was like specifically the legislation in Alabama, where they decided um, they were going to give it like 30 days after it passed. Any trans person under the age of 18 would have hormones taken from them. No doctors could prescribe hormones. They basically made it a felony. And um, I think there were two different lawsuits that ended up getting thrown out by a Trump appointed judge, one by the ACLU and another one by the Human Rights Campaign. And now, and I haven't followed it, but apparently the federal government even is getting involved in Alabama now. But
Yeah, it's
the problem was is there's actually no charity. There's no way to give money to trans people in Alabama because there's no organization on the ground doing the work. So we
yeah,
had
I
to
mean,
find like a
if there was, they'd be getting a lot of bricks through the window too,
yeah,
at
absolutely.
the moment. It's yeah, I hate the condescending optimism from liberals who act like all of these state laws are just going to get overturned, like federally. Like, oh yeah, dude, that's totally true. The federal circuit courts have always been phenomenal about overturning unjust state legislation. We can totally trust them to do that, you know. It's
Mhm.
not like half of the fuckers were appointed by Trump or some shit. You know, it's not as though things slip through the cracks. Um I feel like I feel like we're going to get in this really weird situation where we're going to have a more multipolar United States where it gets way more federalized and like we can't do anything federally about red states, so it's basically just about ferrying queer people to the blue states like some kind of underground railroad bullshit, you know? It's where there's like they're just like hell zones that we can't even like touch.
Yeah. That I think yeah, no. I it's unfortunate, but I could definitely see that happening.
Yeah. Well, in terms of public opinion, trans support has never been higher than it is right now.
Absolutely.
Give or take a margin of error.
And I mean, I've been saying this a lot throughout the night, but I do definitely think like I came out as trans in 2011. And back then a lot of transphobia seemed to genuinely be out of a place of ignorance, but now it seems to be out of a place of like ideological hatred of trans people. But the only reason that's capable of happening is because there is so much visibility and support for trans people. It's like a
Yeah, I think it's important to remember that however bad the discourse gets, the current environment is something which could have only happened because the Republicans have made hating trans people like the main focus of their culture war push. It's an artificial and unnatural social impetus, whereas the support for trans people has been a fairly organic, developing, gradual thing. They needed to commit the resources of one of the largest political organizations on the planet in order to manifest the opposing interest. It's very artificial. I think, if
mhm,
anything, that's indicative that when this wave settles down, and it will after the 2022 midterms, at least a little bit. Same the way that the critical race theory stuff basically like died the moment the 2020 election was over.
mhm,
Yeah, I think things are going to get better, at least a little bit, and at least for a little bit of time, and hopefully that gives us some time to stabilize.
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, after the election, I don't think it'll definitely I don't think transphobia will go away obviously, but I don't think it will be as intense after the election. At least not like the push that they're doing to try and secure votes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's the main. Yeah, they
Mm,
did the exact same thing with CRT. Both of them school panics. Both of them this ridiculous like they're corrupting the youth with their woke da da. Exactly
mhm,
the same thing. In this case, of course, it's a lot more vitriolic and immediately harmful because, well, attacks on critical race theory were, of course, just a thinly veiled attack on black people and racial equality. It's not as directly translatable. It's not like they were saying all black people are groomers, which, of course, with trans people, they are literally saying that. So, yeah, it's not good, but we'll make it through it.
yeah, for
We're
sure.
Yeah. I say we as though I'm trans. I'm not. People have made accusations. But, collectively the left will make it through it.
It'll
I hope.
yeah. I'm like in the last leg of this thing, and it's like I'm alternating between like being alert and being completely delirious. But
No, no, no. You take it easy,
oh
okay?
yeah,
You relax. Here, I'll tell can I tell a story?
okay.
Okay. People will be surprised to hear this. I was not always the sterling representative, the uncontroversial representative of progressive politics that I am today. Back when I was in college, around, funnily, 2011, I wasn't quite as progressive in a lot of issues, namely trans stuff, which mostly I hadn't even heard about at the time. Yeah, I mean, obviously, back in 2011, trans people existed, but there wasn't as much of a mainstream discourse talking point. But anyway, I was taking community college classes. I was working through it. I was trying to save money for a proper university, blah, blah, blah. And I remember, I think I was in German class. We had to take some language extracurriculars, which I always failed. Um, and I was slowly becoming a little bit more aware of trans issues, but in a sort of patronizingly over-involved way. I'm sure you know what I mean, right? You
Mm,
just learn about a social cause, and the next day you're like, annoying about it. And I think
yeah.
it was some talk on gendered pronouns or something like that. Because we were in German, they were talking about conjugation, and it came up, and I was talking with a person in front of me, and there was a chick who was sitting in front of me in class. Very, very nice lady, very pretty. A lot older than me too. I think maybe a decade older than me, and and she, I guess, just heard me errantly talking to somebody to my left, and we started talking, and she was interested in me talking about trans issues, and I was emphatic and enthusiastic and supportive. Like, trans people, there's issues with this, there's issues with that, and I'm talking to her for like 5 minutes because we're on the class break, and uh, eventually she asks me like, so like, I know why you're telling me this. And I'm like, what? And she's like, you're only telling me this because I'm trans. And
Mm,
I'm like, what? Who? She's like, you didn't know I was trans? I'm like, no, I've never talked to you before. No. And she's the most passing human,
mm,
never in a million years. I ended up becoming friends with her. It turns out she was a goddamn underwear model. And um we talked casually. Of course, models tend to be very cavalier. So she was showing me pictures on her phone, and she's just a gigapassoid as it's known. And she was showing me photos on her phone of her being surrounded by like Calvin Klein tier models. I mean, like Chippendale dudes, just like ripped, like to the nines guys. And this bitch was a Giga Stacy. Um, and honest to God, yeah. And that was the first trans person that I knowingly, at least, ever met
mm,
in my life. And it was really funny. Anyway, we were friends for like 2 years after that. Um, and um, and she was a huge normie too. Of course, I think she
right.
would like, impulsively like cringe if I ever said the term gigapassoid around her. I don't even think that term
It's
existed back then.
it's really it's like incredibly funny hearing. I think this is why you get trans allegations against you, because like what fucking cis man knows the term gigapat? I even like barely know this stuff because it's like trans 4chan terminology.
I love the TTTT board. First, it's a horrible board.
It's
Um,
terrible.
it's very, very funny. It's effectively it's an incel board but for trans
Yeah.
women. And
Yeah.
trans women are much funnier than the cis male incels by a mile, by 20 miles. It is so funny. It's a horrible board,
Oh
but
yeah,
oh my
no, I
God.
stay off it because like someone linked me a thread where they took like the pinned like my pinned tweet like of my mom and me and in the hospital bed, and like the entire thread was basically just TTTT posters saying they want to kill themselves by looking in that photo of me, and I was like, okay, I must stay far away from this board.
Yeah, oh yeah, infinite negativity. There's
Yeah.
no positive engagement. I know a lot of it is overdone for irony in a way that's not necessarily present on like the standard incel boards, but no, it's there's a lot of legitimate negativity there. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's the I mean, it's the humor bit,
Oh
right?
yeah, for
It's
sure.
yeah.
It has its
It's a lot of
moments.
people. I unfortunately, I feel like that environment is kind of a response to a toxic positivity that exists in a lot of other places. Because one thing I've heard, and again, I'm cisgender,
Oh
so
yeah,
please,
no, like hug boxing is like an actual
yeah,
thing, like in the trans community that's not very helpful at all. And
yeah,
I try to avoid that.
yeah. She said it, not me.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, because I know, because I swear, like every trans person I've ever been friends with at some point has been like, you can't trust these people for shit. Online, like you can't have a straight conversation in any of these trans spaces because everyone is so like number one committed to positivity that like you never know how sincere a person is being. And but like I totally get it, mind you.
Oh
Not a
yeah.
condemnation of people acting super positive or whatever.
I get where it
Um,
comes from. I just don't think it's like it's particularly helpful to anyone. And I think especially in just in this current moment with all of the legislative stuff and hate ramping up, I don't think forcing yourself into this like super positive echo chamber will help you gain the allies that you need to actually fight back against the legislation.
Yeah, I feel like emphasizing a kind of collective strength
Mm.
um, is really important, where it goes beyond, like this infinite and unconditional affirmation, and it's this like, all right, well, whatever we feel about each other, we all have to buckle down and get through this together. That because that is a universally applicable attitude, I think.
Hmm.
Sleepy Keffals.
Yeah, I am really sleepy.
Can't fault you. I've done long
Yeah,
streams
I
myself.
gotta see if I can the last stretch goal I'm attempting to do before the charity stream ends is I want to see if I can surpass the Critical Role Stephen Colbert charity stream.
Which was
It was at like 100 and hold on, let me find it again. It's like on the front page. We're number 2 on Tiltify right now. We need 20. Yeah, just wait. Yeah, 20,000 to surpass it. Or like 19.
I think that's very doable. How long do you intend on going?
I was planning to go till 4. However, one of Will Neff's head mods said that Will might be able to come on the stream briefly if I like stream till 5. So I'm gonna see like at the end if I could get Will maybe. We'll see.
Oh, sweet. Will Neff is a pretty cool guy, if I recall correctly,
I
right?
don't know much
We
about
keep giving
him.
cool guy here.
I went into a few of his late night streams. I don't know. He's really I feel like he's like the Mr. Rogers of Twitch or something. He like talks in like a really calming way and like talks very motivate. He reminds me of um like how like a caring father talks to their kid or something.
Yeah, everything I've seen about him has been has been pretty positive. I hope
Yeah.
you're able to get him. I hope you're able to beat that number. You hit
I hope so.
169K, by the way.
Yeah, we did. Oh, nice. Uh
Yeah, that's not just a nice car if you pocket that, In the
true.
Midwest, you can get a decent, housing prices down there are
Oh
not
yeah.
expensive. Yeah.
I could get like a condo and ah.
People accuse me of pocketing the money every single time
It's
I do a
so
big
no,
charity
they're
stream.
doing it to me too in my replies. It's so fucking stupid. It's like I'm using a middleman. Do you
Yeah, it goes directly to the charity. The first time I did one, it did go to my bank account, but then I posted the receipts, and
mhm.
also the head of the organization was like on Twitter, and we were talking, and he was on Twitter. So like, I feel like I wouldn't have been able to get away with that one. I mail the head of the PCRF like a giant novelty cardboard check with the amount written on it, while I pocket the actual money, and I just wait because I just hope he'll never cash it. It'll be like sitting in his office, and I'll just get away with it. It's the hope.
Yeah. I mean, I wish it was as easy as they make it seem. Alas, it is not. Oh well.
Embezzlement and fraud.
Yeah, that's so much work. I'm too lazy for that
Yeah.
kind of effort.
To be fair, live streaming already feels a little bit like fraud. Like you're just sitting there and people give you their money that they work at a day job for. What
I
the
know.
hell?
Yeah, no, I feel this. I feel this
So you feel a bit guilty.
a little bit.
Well, that's their choice. If you don't, if you don't do any manipulative,
You you
like
got banned from
social
Hassan's
stuff.
chat for saying go raid I told you all to leave Hassan. Can you please? Oh my God, stop harassing Hassan chat. I don't know how
They're
many times I
the
have to say stop doing this. It's like so fucking frustrating.
If it's any consolation, Hassan's mods have banned every single person who's spoken positively in their chat for years. So they're cultivating a very dedicated very dedicated space.
Oh my
Say
God.
that much. It's a whole thing. But yeah, don't harass Hassan. Don't listen. Don't spill spaghetti that Keffals is gonna have to clean up. Okay.
Yeah, that's really
Um.
annoying.
It's God. Um. Oh, it happens. It's legitimate enthusiasm
Yeah,
born of
I get
desire
it.
to
I
raise
just
money for
like,
these people.
yeah, I just don't want. Uh, I got banned from Hassan's stream for shit talking French. Yeah, that's funny.
For
But
shit talking French people. Wait, why? Hassan doesn't like the French. Who? Wait, you're not from.
I'm not.
You're not a Quebecois,
No,
right?
I'm not. I'm from
Okay.
Ontario.
All right. You don't sound like one. Whew.
No,
I
I'm
was
not like
about to get real
XQC.
racist. Yeah. Okay. Whew. Yeah. These frogs are everywhere. You never
Yeah.
know. Oh, I saw a dono, $5. Vosh best cisgender. That you think I'm cisgender? What a deviation from the typical attitude trans people take towards my identity. There is so much Vosh egg posting. Actually, that gets posted in TTT a lot, or TTTT a lot as well. Um, the transitioning could have saved her type shit post with my picture. Phenomenal stuff. Sleepy Keffals.
Yeah, I'm sleepy. I also had to send a message to someone. It's just like so much. Ugh. How do you do
I
like the
hate
last stretch of these things? It's always like the last stretch. It's like the hardest.
video games and coffee. How much coffee have you
True.
had?
I've had like 3 cups. I have like a fourth here. I guess 3 cups over
Okay,
24
no,
hours, like or 12. I don't know what's going on.
no, it's a
So
decent, it's a decent
yeah.
amount. Yeah. I
Ooh, $40 dono. Nice. We are
I see a lot
almost at
of
170.
based. 130, 50 as well. Juzor, Comfort Penguin. Juzor, I recognize that name. Are you from my community? I hope you are. I think with regards to yeah, I get a lot of egg posting. I think it's cute. I think it's very aspirational. You know what I mean? It's if we can get him, we can get anyone sort of thing. Um, I think that's quite nice. I feel like I feel like a lot of people, because you were saying earlier about how people in TTTT were responding negatively to how well you're doing,
Yeah.
Keffals. Um, and I feel like a lot of that is this like insistent fear that a lot of trans people have, especially pre-transition trans people, that all of the really, really, really pretty trans girls are before transitioning, they were all like effete femboys, and they basically everything was primed for them, and that is just not true. You can look in like the like transition pictures if you just look online for like 2 seconds or whatever. But there are plenty of trans women out there who before transitioning looked
Mm-hmm.
like me
Mm-hmm.
or more than me. Um, it's just HRT is magic. It's
Yeah, no, for sure. I totally get
there's hope.
I totally get where it comes from. It just sucks. Because like some people like read really bad intentions into me just on that basis. Or like they already dislike me and then they're looking for a reason to dislike me. So the first thing I do that rubs them the wrong way, even the slightest, they just jump on it immediately. And it sucks. But I get it.
Yeah, not an attitude conducive towards rebuking systemic transphobia, I have to say.
Yeah, but it's like I don't know. I try to like I've just been like trying to ignore it because it's like I want to focus obviously on like what we're doing right now. This is really important to me. And I know that at the end of the day, none of the people who are going to receive like none of the people who are going to benefit from the funds raised or give a single fucking shit about internet drama. They probably don't even know who I am. And that's
Thank God.
fine.
Bless them. That
Yeah.
never do, you know? You never want God, it's like well, when I made the donation to the PCRF in Gaza, you know, some children in Gaza like, wow, we have money. Where'd that come from? Who wow, a donation from Vosh? That's a weird name. Who? And then it's just like 5 hours of discovery later and their life is ruined. I don't want that. Never learn what goes on online if you're not online, you know? Just let the donation money flow in. Don't worry
Mhm.
about it.
Mhm.
You got to
Mhm.
start the pinball game or the
Oh
marble
fuck.
game.
Oh god. Oh god. Oh god.
I want to see it go
Ah.
zoom.
You got to It's got to zoom.
I'm a baby brain. I want to see the shiny
This is
balls
why I
move.
love baby games. It's like you're over there torturing yourself with soul games and I'm like, haha, I can suck up a car as Kirby. Now I'm car Kirby. Oh no, I'm vending machine Kirby. Watch me spit the soda cans out and kill the
Hey,
monsters.
that's a game for adults. Okay, I won't have you disparaging Kirby and the whatever. Did you ever play Kirby and the Crystal Shards
Oh, that
back in
was
the
like one of my
N64 days?
favorite games growing up. Yeah, I
Yes.
love
Oh
Kirby
my
and the Crystal Shards.
I love that. That was the only Kirby game that I ever played, and that was all I needed. I loved it. And I haven't played the newest one, but I felt like no other Kirby game that I've seen has ever matched that energy.
Oh, it
The
had the same
OST in that
energy.
game,
The only thing that kind
did
of
it?
upset me, it had more puzzles than Kirby and the Crystal Shards, and it was obviously like an actual platformer instead of well, it was
Like a
like a 3D
2D.
platformer, like instead of a 2D one.
Yeah, it's the first like properly 3D Kirby game, I
I was
think.
sad they got
We're
rid
about
of the
to head to
ability
a
to
day.
like mix and match the different elements
I
because
really liked that.
yeah.
I've always felt like I understand this is kind of antithetical to the whole Kirby gameplay thing because it's supposed to be like for kids, kind of. But I always like the idea of a kind of Kirby Breath of the Wild, where instead of low weapon durability, you have like limited use power ups that you get from enemies. So whenever you
Mhm.
find a group of them that you fight, you're like absorbing their powers. It's like, oh, this is like a bomb fire encampment, and you have to like quickly like work your way around. And there are some enemies with like shields that you can't get around with directionally front facing attacks. You have to like move it around. I feel like the ability, like the concept, like Eldritch Pink Ball absorbs magic from enemies to defeat said enemy. I feel like there's so much to do with that, but Kirby's always locked in like the baby game um like zone for Nintendo development. So I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm just pissed that like I played through the entire game and you you can't turn into a fridge. That was my favorite thing.
That's
You
fucked.
can't turn
That's
into a
fucked.
fridge.
It's really funny how poorly balanced Kirby and the Crystal Shards was as well, because some of the moves, like the fridge move, just gave you infinite health, like just flat out infinite health. Like there was no balancing in that game. It was just like, yeah, if you get electricity and ice, you have infinite health in your fights. Congratulations.
Yeah, it
Uh,
was the same thing with the soda machine. Like but you could only get it in like specific areas in the game, which sucked.
yeah.
Oh well.
Well, I think that we're running against the hour here. Liv is coming on
Yes,
next. The dancing lizard, if I remember correctly.
that is
Um,
true.
We're just about to hit 170K. I was hoping that we could do it while I was here,
That
but
would be
that's
awesome.
the whim of fate. Oh wait, we're 1087
There we
away.
go.
If I if
170K.
I filibuster, there we go. Keffals, you've done a wonderful thing, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your stream, and then I hope you have a wonderful sleep.
Thank
In
you.
that order.
Okay. I'll talk to you later.
Take
I hope
care.
you have a good day.
I always do. Be well.